Yo, yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy Fro. And today I'm going to be talking about the 2013 sequel, Anchorman 2, starring and co written by Will Ferrell, directed by Adam McKay. So ain't nothing to it but to do it.
Now let's begin.
Three, two,
The first time I saw this movie at the theater, I wasn't a big fan. I was rather disappointed. As someone who loves the first movie, I just remember not getting too many chuckles out of it and remembered walking out hanging my head. But recently, I got to rewatch this film after so many years, almost 10 or 11 years later. And I gotta say, I did get more enjoyment on my second viewing. There were some things that I felt were very odd or very weird to put into the film, and I would say that about 10 or 15 minutes could have been cut out. Mainly Dobby the shark. Like, all of that was just way too weird for me, and I didn't get really a laugh out of it. But Will Ferrell was back as Ron Burgundy. I am a big Ron Burgundy guy, mainly from the first film, but he does have some memorable moments here and there. In the second one, he still has that snarky, narcissistic attitude towards him, so there's not much growth for the character since the first film. He's still talking down on people, but whenever there's some sort of confrontation, he usually cowers inside and shoots himself in the foot, but it eventually works out in his favor at the end. Overall, I would say Will Ferrell didn't really lose a step playing this character in Anchorman 2. I enjoyed his performance more than Jim Carrey coming back 20 plus years later to play Lloyd Christmas in that sequel, Dumb and Dumber 2, and which I hated way more than this film. And I'm just comparing because they're very similar to me. Like, both are comedies that came out after a very long time from the first film. It is cool to see Steve Carell, Paul Rudd, and David Koechner come back to play Brick, Brian, and Champ. As much as I felt that they were underutilized, I'm a fan of all of the actors here, and the chemistry between them is still present in the film when they pop up. I did get somewhat of a chuckle that Champ is selling fried bats instead of fried chicken. Brick's fake out funeral gave me one of the bigger laughs in the film, admittedly, just because it appears to be sad in the beginning, and you're waiting for it. And when Brick shows up to the podium, he's like, "We're gathered here today for Brick's funeral." And everybody's like, "You're dead, Brick. You're dead, Brick. It's you. It's you." Brick's like, "I'm dead." Just the delivery of it did give me a big chuckle. It is nice to see Christina Applegate again as Veronica Corningstone, but I felt that her storyline and how they push her to the side and how she does Ron kind of dirty eventually, I wasn't a big fan of the decisions they made with her character. But again, I am a fan of Christina Applegate, so it is nice to see her pop up. Fred Willard comes back as Ed Harkin, but he's only in it for a tiny amount of screen time. He might be on screen for like 10 seconds. And there's a weird choice to bring in this other Australian boss who takes over the whole news station and the circuit. And I thought this choice was pretty weird because I'm a big fan of Fred Willard, and I would have loved to see him way more in the film. I really loved Ed Harkin in the first as well, so I really didn't like how he only pops up on screen for 2 seconds. Why the fuck is Drake in this movie? And why does he have the first line of dialogue before any other main character in the film? Why is he one of the very first people that pop up on screen? And why is it unfunny? Fucking Drake, why are you in this film? The worst absolute addition for me personally is Megan Good's character and how she's handled. This is all just my opinion, but I'm not a big fan of Megan Good overall. I've never really enjoyed any of her performances. And that's not me coming off of some haterism or anything. That's just me personally. I'm not a fan of her. And her overall character, Linda Jackson, was very annoying to me. I did not care for the character. And I do have a bone to pick with how Will and the director Adam co-wrote the character. Because when she first appears, it's a little bit funny, but Ron Burgundy's like, "Oh, you're black, black this, black that," you know? And obviously, it is a bit racist, you know? How she kind of accepts that overall, and then starts lusting after Ron Burgundy, and she brings him to the all-black family, which I'm not a fan of that scene personally. I love mean-spirited comedy, and I can even love racial humor here and there if it's really, really funny. I just thought the way it was handled in this film was done in poor taste, and I don't think it was written that well. And this, of course, is all just my opinion again. And I have to say, as much as I think the big celebrity fight was just filmed and written better overall in the first film, I did enjoy the big celebrity fight in this sequel. We have Jim Carrey pop up, Kanye makes a random cameo, but he gets blown up. Will Smith pops up to call an airstrike on the battlefield. John C. Reilly pops up to play the ghost of Stonewall Jackson, which is super random, but it did give me a chuckle. Tina Fey and Amy Poehler. And I know I'm forgetting a couple, but I did enjoy the big celebrity fight scene near the end of the film. I would have liked to see Vince Vaughn as Wes Mantooth just a little bit longer on screen, but the 2 minutes he has at the very end of the film are magnificent. In my opinion, I think Vince Vaughn almost steals the show with just 2 minutes. Wrapping it up, I don't love Anchorman 2 nowhere near as much as Anchorman 1, and the first time I saw Anchorman 2, I despised it. But on this recent viewing after 10 plus years, I will say that there are a couple chuckles here and there. There's some memorable moments. It's nice to see Ron Burgundy and the gang back together. Will Ferrell is still having fun as Ron, and he doesn't really miss a beat with the performance. If you love the first Anchorman, I'm not sure if you'll like the sequel, but give it a shot. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And that's my review. I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to give Anchorman 2 a 6.5 out of 10. And that's it, y'all. It's your boy Fro. What did you think of Anchorman 2? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you despise it? Do you rock with it? Comment below what your thoughts are. And in the meantime, between time, I'm out. Peace.